And at this time, I'll call this meeting of the Commissioners Court to order. If you would, let's stand and we'll have our opening prayer by Pastor Mark Lowen from the First Christian Church. It's right up the street up here, Mark, if you would.
Let's pray. Almighty God, remind us of your guiding presence this morning. Open our minds and ideas to the opportunities that are put before us, and just fill our hearts with compassion and generosity for each other. We pray this day for the well-being and success of Cooke County, for its employees and its citizens alike, and for the needs that are brought before this court. Bless each of us in our work. Be with us and lead us. In the name of Jesus the Christ we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mark. You're welcome to stay and listen, or you're...
I'll pledge you.
There you go. All right. And speaking of the pledge, Commissioner Hollowell, if you would.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the
Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance
to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay. As I said, we have a quorum and we're ready to start this session of Commissioners Court. Do we have any requests for public comments on this? We do not, okay. That takes us right to item number 6, since we have a quorum. Consent agenda includes non-controversial and routine items that the court may act on with one single vote. The judge or a commissioner may pull any item from the consent agenda in order that the court discuss and act upon it individually as part of the regular agenda.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion, Commissioner Snuggs, to approve the consent agenda.
I've got to refrain from one here for Walter Scheid Appliance and bill payment for.
You know somebody there?
Yeah.
Okay, we have one abstention on
Just
which item is that?
Usually you pull the bills and then you vote on them, and then you abstain from voting on the bills.
That's how we did it when his wife was, or his daughter was home.
Every time.
So, okay,
You want to pull that one?
I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda less the monthly bills.
All right, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda less the monthly or the bills.
I'll second.
Commissioner Snuggs, second. Commissioner Hollowell. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then on
There are none.
letter D, how should we do it? I'll make a motion less the Walter Scheid bills.
No, now you're gonna just vote on that one.
Yeah, just vote
Okay,
on it.
okay.
And you
Okay.
can be abstained.
I'll make a motion we approve the letter D, the monthly bills as well.
All right. Commissioner Snuggs makes the motion to approve item number D, which is to deliberate and consider possible approval regarding payment of monthly bills. Do I hear a second? Second, Commissioner Sicking. All in favor?
Aye.
And we have
You're abstaining, okay.
4 to approve and 1 abstention. That abstention, Commissioner Arndt. Okay, that bill or that item passes 4-0. All right, item number 7: deliberate and consider possible approval of the treasurer's monthly report for May 2023.
Move to approve.
All right, Commissioner Snuggs moves to approve item number 7. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second is Commissioner Arndt. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Item number 7 passes 5-0. Item number 8, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the approval of the TAC HEBP renewal And is Elizabeth here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, where are you?
I'm over here.
Oh, way over there. Okay, if you would you please step up and identify yourself and talk to us?
Yes, I am Elizabeth Upton, HR Director. And we have the health employee benefits full renewal with TAC for the fiscal year '24. The medical is going to increase by 9.9%. The dental is a decrease of 3%, vision a decrease of 26%, and our life and AD&D coverages will remain unchanged. I have asked TAC to provide us with some other plan options, so those are available if you're interested in reviewing them or considering them. The plan renewal is due by Friday of this week. So I guess the question is if you want to renew as is or discuss other plan options.
Okay. What say you? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Trying to get my, there we go.
I have seen those options. Those are the options that they're supposed to send back to us, or we talking about different options?
So there are two other plan options, which would, well, right now we don't have a copay. Our employees don't pay a deductible. The new plans would have a partial deductible for them to pay, and there would be copays, a $40 copay every time they go to the doctor, and $150 ER copay. So it would cost some money out of pocket for the employees where it does not right now.
Okay, just so I'm clear on this, what you're saying is that they have proposed, or what you just first mentioned is the plan basically that we're on right now, only it's going to increase by 9.9%, is that?
So our plan right now will increase by 9.9%.
Okay,
The alternatives would decrease what we pay right now,
but
they
with
would not be
copays.
as rich of a plan as what we
Yeah.
have right now.
Okay, and we won't know exactly until Friday, did you say, or do we know now?
So I do have the other plan options.
Okay,
Is this something that needs to be decided on right now? Or do we have time to go through the remainder?
So
of
the
budget week?
renewal is due Friday. I apologize for the lateness of it, but I did not get alternatives until last week Friday. So I believe that we could talk about it some more, but it's not on an agenda, so there would have to be another
Right.
agenda posted to talk about it maybe Thursday, if you wanted to talk about it during budgets some more.
I would like to do that if we could.
No, I think the decision comes down to the entire budget, in my opinion. I don't know what y'all think.
yeah, I agree. So you want to come back and with more information on Thursday then, and be able to discuss the,
So I have all the information.
It's in front of us here in the email, is it not?
Yeah, I
You
was
don't
gonna
have
say, I
anything to
emailed it
add to
out. I can bring you a copy of it also.
okay.
But we just need to make sure that we do it correctly, I guess, agenda-wise to
It's
get
about
it discussed.
$90,000 swing is what it is, but then our employees start picking up out-of-pocket expenses. We've got a pretty lucrative healthcare plan as it is. Where it's painful is for those that have families. And I don't know what percentage of employees I see some percentages, but I don't know which of those represents.
I believe we have about 30% of our employees that carry dependents. I could go look. As far as families, there's maybe 4 or 5
So it'd
that
have
carry a full family.
in theory, it'd have a positive effect on 30% and a negative effect on 70%.
Probably. I could get
That's-
numbers,
that's
but
it in a
that would be
nutshell.
my guess.
So,
So we would need to modify our agenda for Thursday and repost it if we want to talk about it Thursday.
We have flex time on Thursday that we can do that.
And I feel like since it's a decision that's going to affect whether we approve other parts of the budget, I think that's what we do, is push this to Thursday, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
But we ought to be able to talk about it just
Gonna
simply.
put you in a
because-
bind?
It's part of the budget.
Yeah, we should be able to
They're
talk
gonna
about
put
it
you
as
in a
part of the budget.
Talk about it.
I mean,
Not a problem.
do you feel like we need to modify the agenda if it's part of the budget?
Is she on it for that day? Is she
Probably
talking about her budget?
not on Thursday, I don't.
No, but a budget is kind of a catch-up day.
There has to be an action item for this
Okay, that's
in
fine.
particular, right?
Well, then we-
I may be wrong, I'm just asking.
I mean, you're probably right, since it has to be acted on by,
Yeah, we
There
want to
has
act
to
on
be
the
a
whole
vote on it.
budget, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's,
let's put her on Thursday sometime and repost that.
and we have time for, we got 72 hours, right? So,
What in particular I'd like to hear more about is, like I say, I think the plan that we have now is really a good plan. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. However, it's a sizable increase if we go with that plan. And if we go with the alternatives as you have printed there, it's very possibly going to be quite a bit of out-of-pocket for other individuals if you're talking co-pays and all of that sort of thing. If I've got that right.
It would be more out of pocket. I don't
Yeah.
know if it would be sizable or not. It depends on
Well,
how the county sets the plan up and,
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about things, catastrophic,
and there are maximum out of pocket limits.
Yeah.
So
okay.
we can talk about it.
If you don't mind, I'd kind of like to discuss those co-pays and maximum out of pocket and things like that when we come back Thursday then.
Okay.
And if you would, just get with Chelsea and we'll put an item on Thursday's agenda. We can do that, can't we, Pam? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, Elizabeth. Appreciate it. So item number 8 is going to be continued until Thursday. So we'll revisit item number 8 on Thursday. Item number 9, deliberate and consider possible approval of amending the contract with Co-File, original contract signed on 10/11/2021. And I believe, Marcy, if you would identify yourself.
Okay, I'm Marcy Gilbert, District Clerk, and with me I have Jack Morris with Co-File. We all know what this is regarding. I've been in front of you before, but we have, I think, came to something that we can handle on this, and it is not a full preservation of the records. It is only going to be pre-preservation state, where it gets it to digitation, index, where we can get it into our net data form. We don't have to go and we don't have to physically touch these records anymore. We do have people that come and they want to see these records, but as we all know, any piece of paper that's folded like this, the first thing that we want to do, especially if it's been folded for a long time, is take it out and do this with it. You know what happens to my record? It's gone. Because that paper is ripped, shredded, destroyed, because it is so incredibly brittle. So incredibly brittle. You know, and I know these records are not and haven't been kept in a climate-controlled environment the entirety of their life. And so they literally become kitty litter. And so we're talking records of 1848 to 1920. Anything after 1920, we are going to be able to scan in-house and get that done ourselves. But the records up to that point, we cannot, because if you've seen the pictures, you all know that they, back in the day, tri-folded those and stuck them in a shuck, and then they compressed like this, and then that's the way they were kept. Well, nowadays, we don't do that. They're kept flat or in digital format. Those old records are old. We have no idea what is in those records. There could be something historical in them. We don't know until they're scanned where we can actually visibly see them. You know, we had historic people that came through Cooke County during those times, and so who knows what might be in those records? I don't know. If we find that, we might have, you know, maybe later on be able to find some grants to be able to help us out to get it to full preservation, because, you know, the historical commissions do help with that at some point. But, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this over to Jack, kind of let him explain to you what's going on and what we need to do.
Thank you, Marcy.
Good morning, I'm Jack Morris with Cooke. Originally, when we started this project, me and another person actually took 2 banker boxes, went through, opened up shucks, counted every single page that was in there. We took the 2 boxes and we estimated that over the 162 boxes. As it turned out, we had over 1,400 pages in one and 1,600 pages in the other one, so we used 1,600 as our estimation. Once we brought them into the office, the boxes range from 1,200 pages up to 8,000 pages. You never know how many pages are in a shuck until you actually take it apart and see what's in it. Some of the pages are small pages, some are big pages, some are front and back. So my original estimation was 260,000 pages based upon 162 boxes. We actually picked up 179 boxes, so there was actually more boxes than initially thought, and the number of pages went from 260,000 pages to 650,000 pages. Just all over the board. There's no way we would know exactly how many pages are there until we actually opened the shucks and counted the pages. And part of the scanning is we would scan the front of the shuck and then the individual pages. As Marcy mentioned, the pages are in pretty bad shape. Not all of them are, but you have to be very careful as taking them out because they will fall apart. Where the code has been for over 100 years, when you take that out, if you're not real careful, you got 3 pieces of paper instead of 1 piece of paper. So they do need to be addressed. I do apologize because of the estimation that was there. Unfortunately, we picked 2 boxes. It turned out to be 2 of the lower boxes. And until we brought them into the office for the production people to assess them, there was no way of knowing exactly how many pages it was. So with that being said, our original proposal had 2 options. One had full preservation. We're not going to look at full preservation. We're looking at strictly imaging them, indexing them, putting it in a format that can be loaded by your software vendor, which is net data, and we're using the original pricing that was presented in 2021. But it would take right now you're paying $250,000 per year in January. It would take it up to $309 to address all 650 pages. Here's a copy of each one. The last page is just a picture of the sampling of the boxes.
We have made already 2 payments of that $250,000 to Profile in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. But these payments of $58,833 roughly would be applied to the payments of the next 3 payments that are due over the next 3 years.
So we've spent $750,000 so far, $250 a year.
No, we've spent 500,
500.
250,000. We've only made 2 payments.
Okay. And the contract is for 5 years, is it not?
Yes.
So it's going up $58,000 a year over the next.
3.
So it's going from 250 to 309. And we basically had this conversation before, right? But the number wasn't 58.8, it was something
It was a
else.
lot larger.
And it's been reduced now only because we're going to get less product.
It's less and it's lesser because one, we were gonna go to full preservation, that went to, put it in the Mylar sleeves and put it in the encapsulated boxes. We will not be getting that. What we will be getting is, we will be getting them back in acid-free folders and in corrugated boxes that will help to protect them for a lot longer term than in putting them in a regular file folder, because this sucks moisture out, and as well as paper boxes suck moisture out. So once we get them back, then they are gonna go over to the annex, where that is a climate control area. So they should be able to be maintained that way, beyond the life of Marcy. So, and.
We hope not.
Well, anyways, they should be fine to do that. The main thing is that we have these records in a digital format, and they are in our case management system, where people who do want to see these records, they are able to go online, look at them, and purchase them that way, or purchase them and look at them that way. And so it saves the wear of these records. They will be able to be maintained for their life. And I think that's at least the minimal of the standards that they ask that we try to do with them. So that's where I'm at.
So it's really not a $58,000 decision, it's 3 times that.
Oh, if we went to full.
No, I'm talking about right now, it's $58,000 a year for the next 3 years.
That is correct.
Yeah. And how often are these records being accessed?
We get calls at least twice a month on this. I mean, that's a pretty big number considering what age of these records. I mean, these people are calling from all over the United States, looking, you know.
But 24 people, we're making a substantial investment for 24 people.
Yeah, or just for the history of the county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If you wouldn't have folded them so many times when you worked back there,
Yeah,
really?
If you'd have done your job right.
Back- yeah. How old was I then? 12?
Okay.
I'll try to do better in the next 20, but you know,
y'all heard it, he was 12 in
Yeah, that's
1920.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's what we have, and, you know, and that's what I would at least like to see happen. So that we can get moving forward. Technically, we probably should have already had these records back and in our possession in a digital format, but we've been working on this 2 years trying to get this figured out. And so this is even a less proposed amount than what he gave me a few months ago. It's even a little less than that, so
But we're getting less.
we are getting less, yeah.
I mean, it's a shame we missed our guess by 400,000 documents. You know, when we have somebody come in and say, hey, this is what we think we have, and we get an estimate, and we miss it by 400,000 documents, that's a few documents. And we're paying the price. It's hard to budget when it hits like that,
Yeah.
you know?
And you can explain that to them, Jack. I mean, that was you counted the front pages that they're writing on, not the back pages of it.
Oh, I heard him.
Yeah.
I heard him.
Our way of doing them now, we will basically not price anything without taking them into our facility and actually go through it, because case files are just so hard to estimate. Again, you have boxes that have 1,200 pages, you have boxes that have 8,000 pages. It's such a variance. And the other thing is the condition of them. One good thing is once they're taken out of the shucks, they're not going back in the shucks. They're going to be, it's going to be a flat piece of paper after that. So as far as the bins are concerned, you don't have the deterioration that's going to happen from there.
And we won't have to touch these with our hands. You know, the oils on our hands deteriorates the paper too, so we won't have to physically access those because they'll be in the digital format.
Oh, it's no doubt a great process, and you know, end result is the product's going to be good. You know, it just, you know, it's circled in bold here, not budgeted, so that 6 million we're going to be behind is going to be 6,050,000 or whatever.
Well, you know, my question is this: what is the urgency of doing that today? If we brought this back in 2 weeks,
Well, the last time I was here, I put to me that I wish this was during budget season, or budget hearing, and, here we are, my budget is tomorrow, and, I would like to be able to have this in my budget so that it's there and you have it.
I get mine's here, absolutely.
Yeah, we don't have to make a decision today, but it's,
That was,
Present
that's
to
my
us.
point. It's
So
been,
It's on, you know, from Cooke, I'm praying that Cooke is gonna stay within us, I don't know where we are, really, I don't know where we are as far as time.
We want to do the right thing for the county, and this is, again, this has gone on for a year. I fought to keep everything the same as it is right now. If you look at state contract, our tax pass contract, virtually every price that you're seeing in 2021 is about 40% higher. So if you end up going, example, we're going to scan these pages for 63 cents, the state contract price is $1.90. So again, we're honoring the 2021 pricing. If you were to start the project today, it would be probably 40% higher. The other option is that, and I can't remember the ending date, is the original contract amount. We could start at 1848 or 1845 and do up to a certain point when we've exhausted the funds. We stop right there and say, okay, we've got you through 1926 or whatever that particular date is, and keep it at the original dollar amounts that were approved in 2020.
That wouldn't get us done, but that might be a good alternative.
what's that?
Let them finish out their contract, expend what money we've committed, and not add to it right now. You know.
well, and it's questions like that you said that this is part of you're on the agenda for budget tomorrow. I assume we can discuss this again with you tomorrow on your budget hearing. And I'm not asking for a whole lengthy amount of time, but I have a few more questions that I might be able to get answered just today, and then continue to discuss it tomorrow if that's okay to do it that way. Can we do that?
We can't approve the contract.
We can't approve it, no, but we could at least decide what we're going to do tomorrow and then approve the contract at a later date.
General fund is paying for all this.
Pardon?
General fund is
Right.
paying for all this.
Right.
And
What do you guys want to do?
what year's the contract end?
26, is that?
That sounds too far out, but it might be.
Yes, it's 3 more years.
It's 3 more years.
Yeah.
So right now, that's $250,000 we got committed over the next 3 years on contract. Yeah.
I would just sleep on it and talk about it again for her budget.
It's not going to get any less painless. I mean, and I ain't seen the money tree lately, but I would personally suggest that we exhaust the contract, let them preserve what they can preserve with the commitment we've got made, and then regroup after that if we need to.
So discuss the next 3 years at a later date.
No, you got 3 years you're already committed to.
Oh,
That 250,000 about to go to 309.
okay.
See, so that's $1 million pretty much in the next 3 years. Pretty close. That we're committed to. I would suggest we let them do what they can do over the next 3 years and get us to whatever date they get us to, and then hopefully our finances will be better and we could reconsider.
So do I hear a motion?
Like talk
I'd
about it a
rather
little more
wait and see.
tomorrow.
I want to see the whole budget. I want to see what all we got going on and all the asks and everything before I make any decision.
I'm with you, but what do you think?
I think it's gonna be a long week, because this is just the
It's gonna be a
beginning.
long week.
And then we're all,
It is.
then, you know, it's
is.
not gonna be fresh on our mind on Thursday or Friday when we decide to pass the budget, and we're gonna say, what'd we say, who'd we do, what was the commitment? You know, that's the problem with putting it off. And again, I wouldn't make the motion on a bet. If somebody wants to make it, I've shared the logic, somebody can make the motion. But, you know, or we can, again,
Well, I'm just
We
wondering
can-
if we spend 150,000 now and get it done, or if we wait 3 years and spend 600,000 to get it done.
no, the 150 is in addition.
I know,
Right.
that's
If we
what I'm
come back
saying.
and have them finish it
On
up.
top of that,
more.
you spend the additional 150,000 now,
To finish it up.
finish it up, or wait 3 years and come back and,
But the
God knows
thing,
what you're
Matt,
gonna
it
spend.
don't finish. We still got stuff out there to be preserved. We're into a, what, a 5-year, 6-year contract now, and we're getting 5 now, but we've done it for how many years? This is not,
Nothing has been done to any of the records, so we've paid two years payments on it and nothing's been done yet.
It's always been the county clerk's stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, y'all originally approved, I don't know how much money for this to be done back in the day, which if it would have been done back in the day, you'd probably have been half of what you're spending right now. But the predecessor didn't get it done. She didn't take the time to go down and get the records organized and get it done to where we could get this done. So therefore, there's a higher cost on me at this point because it wasn't done back in the day. And, you know, I mean, the longer we keep putting it out, the higher the price is gonna go up. You know, I mean, ultimately, it's on you, what y'all wanna do with the records. I've done my best part,
Absolutely.
to get it to this point.
So what you're saying is, when we did all this, they started with the clerk's office, and it hasn't gotten
Okay,
to the district clerk's office.
correct.
One thing to keep in mind too is that I can't remember the starting date of the county,
1848,
1848. This is to get you through 1950.
20. This is only taking records of 1920. I will be able to scan from 1920 on because those records are flat and they're able to be scanned by a scanner.
That's what, yeah.
Yes,
so if we spend this
48
money,
through 20, basically.
yes, 1848 to 1920.
and that will get you finished, 100% completed. You don't have anything else to scan or anything else
Oh,
to?
no.
Okay.
And she's got stuff to scan, so she's saying she can pick, her and her staff can pick up in 1920 and
From
scan.
20
it.
And that's what we're doing.
'Cause they're not
We're
folded in those
scanning-
shuts.
Yeah, we're at 1984. So.
So y'all are in the works of doing that.
Oh, yeah, that's a.
Yeah, but you won't have to
daily process.
contract anything else once this
No, but I mean,
contract.
I still have some books that are still gonna have to be, done.
Never say never.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
trust me, I know. This ain't the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, so,
This is a big chunk, okay? I'm not gonna say this is going to complete all of it, because it's not. I have minute books, I have some other books and stuff that's all got to be done, they're in my office where we can still see them, but obviously every time we touch those old books, those pages are getting more brittle, and so those at some point are gonna have to be addressed, for sure. But we are taking our diligence with those to not manhandle them as much as we can and use pretty much white gloves when we open them and so that the oils don't get to those pages, so that, we're trying to do our part on some of that to help hold on that part.
There's
But,
actually legislation that states that case files 1950 and previous are permanent, they cannot be destroyed. So even after they're digitized, you can't get rid
we
of
still have to
them.
maintain
By
those.
legislation, you have to keep them.
Okay, but we have already paid $50,000, right?
No, you paid 500,000.
I mean, I'm sorry, $500,000. But nothing has been done so far, is that correct?
It's in other offices.
They have been scanned.
No, this is her contract.
This is opening
Oh, okay.
them, counting them, getting them ready to scan. So there's been a lot of manpower that's been putting into
Okay.
waiting,
This decision.
Well,
get quantities. The biggest thing was Jack estimated 260,000, came back and estimated, 1 million images, And it's like, we gotta have better numbers than this. So people actually opened them and started counting them box by box by box by box by box. And that's where we are today. So manpower's the biggest thing so far.
Okay, but and to keep it simple for me, it's been 75 years since your record started, right? Since 1848.
No, it's more so.
175 years.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not good with numbers today, I guess. But why can't we get started with what, we've already paid $500,000, okay? Why can't we go ahead and get started on the very early records and 2 weeks from now make a decision on the rest of it? What is the urgency to make that decision today, I guess?
Well, I think overall just needs an amended contract signed so that they know what to do and moving forward and where they're going.
But we already have a contract signed for,
260,000 pages.
right,
Going through full preservation. If they start this, then they do pages and they put it to full preservation. I mean, and we're not doing a full preservation, we're only going to pre-preservation state.
If in 2 weeks you want to tell me, Jack, we approved 1.2 million, do that amount of work, we'll do a amended contract, you guys approve it, we approve it, and move forward. If you guys tell us in 2 weeks, we'll pay the extra $59,000 or whatever it is per year for the next 3 years, get every bit of it done, we'll do that. If you say we paid $500,000 and that's all we're going to pay, that's way above my pay grade as far as how something like that. But 2 weeks is not going to put into the world for us.
yeah,
But I'm just saying is that we need to get moving forward.
I agree.
Make a decision, and y'all just tell us what you
I
want
agree.
to do.
And you already have contract to start moving forward on
It's
the
on
earliest.
until we find out what you want to do.
Well, I
Do
think
we
we're
want
talking
to do
about
full preservation?
full
Or
preservation.
you want to do,
Or do pre-preservation state.
do pre, it's cheaper.
Yes. And get
That's
it
what they're
all
trying
done.
to figure out, which way you want them to go.
So what's the difference between full and pre?
Go ahead, Jack.
Pre-preservation is taking a sheet of paper,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Taking that shuck, opening up that shuck, straighten those out, make sure it's scannable. You got Post-it pads, you got paper clips, you got everything on there to prepare that product to go be able to scan it. That's pre-preservation.
Okay.
Preservation is that we're going to preserve that piece of paper. That paper is going to have acid in it. So the first thing we're going to do is take the acid out of the paper. There's actually a chemical we spray both sides to make it, to deacidify it. The second thing that we're going to do after that is our fingers have oils. So process to take the oils that are out of there. Once that paper is stabilized, then it is encapsulated into a mylar sleeve that actually has a little fabric thing over here to keep moisture from coming in. That is now a preserved sheet of paper. Once the X number of preserved, then they actually go into a notebook that basically has.
That encapsulated binder.
So that's a preserved sheet of paper. Paper that's we're pre-preserving has acid. Eventually, the acid will make the paper so brittle that it'll just be nothing left.
Okay, so my question is this: what does our $500,000 get us? How far does that get us in fully preserved documents? From 48 to,
Judge,
okay, until it runs out.
Boxes again. I can't
And,
tell.
okay, until it runs out, right. But at least
We might get you to 1903. I don't.
probably and we would probably know more 2 weeks from now how far that would get us, number one. Number two is you would already be started, and I think probably the very earliest records have to be fully preserved anyway, wouldn't you think?
My belief, And the way I feel about this is truly that if these papers are put into pre-preservation state and put into the and they're flattened, they're scanned, they're digitized, they're put into an acid-free folder and put into those corrugated plastic boxes. Those are protected until later on they can be fully preserved. And at that point, then they just come in and finish the process out and put them in the sleeves and put them in the encapsulated boxes. If it was me and it was my money, I would say, let's get these records from 1848 to 1920 into pre-preservation state, because once we do that, they're going to be over here in this climate-controlled room, and they're going to be fined for several years, and there are many clerks that that's as far as they've gotten to, truly have gotten to, because this is very expensive. And if we get that done, truly, we've got the records where the public can access those, and then later on, and like I said, well beyond Marcy, can go into a full preservation and have a fully sleeved, encapsulated, and so forth. But to get in, if they're in the pre-preservation state, they're in a good state. When we get them back, they will be in a great state, considering what they are right now.
Okay, without getting in a big discussion over pre and full and everything else, what would be wrong with starting what we have already paid right now? 2 weeks later, we'll have a better idea of what would be remaining, perhaps, to 1920, how much more we would have to go.
I personally don't know that process. If it's one of those processes, once that paper starts in pre-preservation, if it goes from this stage to this stage to this stage to this stage till it's completed, at this point, the contract we have says full preservation. So are they going to take that one sheet of paper and take it all the way to full preservation, or are they going to take it, are they going to just take it to pre-preservation and stop and go to the next one, thinking, not knowing exactly what we're going to do?
Okay.
I mean, that's the way I'm thinking. I don't know the production line. I don't work down there. I don't know how that all goes.
Okay.
But to me, they're manhandling that paper multiple times when they really don't have to. That's
Very simply, I guess what I'm asking is whether we do pre, full, whatever, why don't we get started with what we have paid so far on what is there, and 2 weeks from now come back and decide what we're going to do with.
But if we're,
So you want them to do full preservation?
that's the question.
That's the question. I mean,
I think we
Okay,
need a
and that's-
pre-preservation.
That's fine too. I just said whatever.
It's really not fine because
Our contract's full preservation, but it's costing us more.
it is.
And you're
I mean,
getting
if we're gonna-
less.
And you're
You're
getting
gonna get
less.
less. That's what you guys need to think about. Do you want more years? I mean,
Okay.
yes, a library.
Okay, just a minute ago, I said I thought that from 1940, or from 1848 on, should, for at least however much we have paid for so far, the earliest records probably should be fully preserved, which we've already paid for. Is that
But
correct?
I really think, the thing is, the early records are gonna be just as good as the ones at, 1919, once they get it into pre-preservation state. That's what I'm.
For him to take the money that that we've already paid and go, and proceed, if we only want to do the pre-preservation, we would have to change that contract, so we can use that amount to get a lesser product. Is that what you're understanding, Matt?
Yes, but I
I think Matt has an understanding, and Jason both have an understanding of what I'm doing. And Adam, I think you understand too, because you come in and visit with me for a long time about this as well.
That hurts my
Probate
feelings.
records
You
are
don't
just like what
think I
she's saying.
understand.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's kind of what I thought, Judge, you and I don't understand.
If we were to fully preserve all the 650,000, I would be sitting here saying, I need another $1.2 million per year.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, but I made the comment, I said, whether we do fully or pre or whatever, we have a certain amount of money paid in so far. Why don't we get started from the very beginning with whichever we decide to go with, fully or pre? get started doing that and then decide in 2 weeks how much farther we're gonna go or how much more money we're gonna pay into this. What's
Now,
wrong
since
with
they
that?
can't produce a whole lot in 2 weeks, Judge, that's the nutshell, okay?
That's fine, at least they got started, we haven't produced anything in
Well,
2 years.
it sounds like we-
My recommendation is truly just to do the pre-preservation and get it digitized, so we can get it in our case management, and these records will truly be okay. And if we tell them to move forward with the contract, they're gonna go to full preservation, and that's gonna be money that we don't need to spend on something that,
Unless you're,
unless you're saying.
But if we modify the contract, it's gonna be at 60 cents a page or $1 and something a page.
63, how much a page?
If we modify the contract to go pre-preservation,
You wanna know how much we're paying?
Is it 63 cents or 109?
63 is the current discounted price. Our price today from the state contract that we started is 109. Pre-preservation, you open up the shucks and provide it today is $1.35 discounted price.
You get it for
A
63.
new project is $2.81.
so,
Because after COVID, we have to pay people more. I mean, everything's gone up. You have I forget what your indexing price is, but our indexing price for somebody to read a handwritten document has gone to $5.50 per document for somebody that actually can read one of those things. I think you're getting $2.63.
Okay, but I don't think, I'm not sure that anybody understands what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not saying it clearly. I would like to get started right now, whether it's whether it's full, whatever, on the earliest documents and move forward with that in 2 weeks, decide what we're gonna do with the remainder. But at that time, we'll have a better idea of what is remaining.
I understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
I need you to tell me of the $500,000 you spent, what do you want to do?
Get started.
Full preservation,
That-
image and
that's
index?
right.
Or do you
I-
just want
yeah.
us to image and index?
But
I
I don't
disagree
care.
with that.
not at 263 a page.
I disagree with that. I think we do the pre-preservation because she's saying if we do the pre, she can get them in the climate control.
And we can change the contract and then go with the pre.
I'm going to tell you that if you're not going to get accomplished what you want in the long run, because I think having it digitized and on the computer so that they don't have to go open up boxes anymore, nobody has to touch it, I think it's a bigger benefit than the preservation piece. That's my opinion. That's only my opinion.
That's full presentation you just described there, Jack, all the way to digitized.
Sorry.
He's talking about full.
Pre-preservation gets us the digitation and gets us into our case management
Okay,
system.
but what I'm understanding, if we do pre-preservation, then we would modify the contract, and instead of paying 63 cents, we're gonna pay $2.63.
We're only paying 63 cents. The going rate right now on that is 109. We're gonna get the discounted rate at 63 cents.
So
Right now.
how wouldn't we take the 63 cents and exhaust what we've spent getting pre-preservation?
That's what I'm saying.
But no, you're saying you want them to take the first few pages and see how far they can get into full preservation.
Well, okay, I originally said full preservation. However, that since then, I have said it doesn't matter to me whether we do pre or full or whatever.
Okay.
I just would like to get started on this thing, whichever way we
Well,
go.
they need something in writing telling them to
Yeah.
stop full preservation and go forward.
That's a
with
contract
pre-pres-
change.
That's the contract.
And how will that differ from our current contract, Jack?
Just the full or the pre.
The
No.
current contract basically says that you're committed to spend $250,000 a year for 5 years.
For full.
For full?
full.
Okay,
For
okay.
full.
So if you say, we're not spending another penny, that's it, not gonna go file another penny, then you're gonna say, you spent $500,000, we'll go image and index what we can, and give it to you. If that's the 1901, it's the 1901.
But if we take it out through the next 3 years to complete the contract, will you honor the 63 cents and do pre-preservation?
And if you decide to comply with the full contract, then we will bill you $250,000 for the original $1.2 million and we'll do as much as we can, and if that stops at 1915, then we'll stop there. If you tell me, Jack, we'll give you the extra 59,000, we'll do it all the way to 1920. So there's three
In
options.
pre-preservation state.
In pre.
That is correct.
And it looks like what I'm hearing is that we're talking pre here.
Yes, sir.
But, so if we start at 1848 and start pre-preserving our records as far as our 500,000 will take us, in the meantime, 2 weeks from now, we can come back with a better idea of what is remaining and amend the contract or contract then.
But Judge,
We're not going to be able to tell you that.
yeah.
Well, okay, but we'll have a better, I know you won't be able to,
But-
but we'll be able to say, okay, there's 30 years or 50 years or whatever. I mean, it ought to be pretty obvious in 2 weeks
But
if
I
we
think
got
we're-
started right now.
But I don't think we're cutting off at 500,000. I think we're planning to continue our 3-year commitment at 250, you know,
1.2.
Yeah.
to the 1.2 million.
That's what we
I
decided.
mean, the
in
court
2
needs to
weeks.
understand it's 1.2 million we're talking about in big picture, unless we add the 58,000. If we don't, I mean, pre-preservation for 5 years
Yes.
on the current contract. In other words, the only thing that changes on the contract is we're going from, in my mind, is we're going from full preservation to preservation. It's what I'm thinking, and that's without adding the $58,000.
So we have to,
I'm saying exhaust if it gets us to, I'm saying if it gets us
it won't
to,
get all of the profit.
okay, but it'll get
There'll
us.
still be more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still be more to do.
And-
So how many more records do you have than what Pam had? Quite a bit.
We all have the
No,
same
it's-
years, I just have probate and civil guardianships
Yeah.
and criminal, but she
I
just,
just have civil and criminal.
I don't think you can make a
You can't,
comparison.
that's comparing apples and oranges.
No, I just was,
Yeah, yeah,
Typically, civil is about twice as much as criminal.
Yeah.
We sue people more than we criminal.
she has a lot more civil than I have. too.
yeah,
And mine's in free state, just like
May I
hers
make a
right now.
suggestion?
yeah, exactly.
My suggestion would be, with the original contract of $1.2 million, we would continue to do as much as we possibly can. We will stop at that stage. At the end of 3 years, whatever's left, the county will decide, we'll pay your current prices and get the rest of it done, or
Which is gonna be 40% more.
it will be more. So if it's 150,000, you're probably talking it's gonna be another 250,000, what you pay. But get $1.2 million worth of work done, and we'll stop right there, and we'll reevaluate this in 3 years.
Okay, and that's basically what I'm saying now, okay? Except that 2 weeks from now, we ought to have an idea of what we want to do into the future, okay? And that's all I'm saying. I did say full in the beginning there, that's because the contract said full. But if the current thinking is pre, and Marcy agrees with that, I see pre is just fine with me,
Thank you.
so.
You'll just have to tell me what you want to do.
And you're okay waiting for a couple weeks for us to work that out? That's a question.
I mean, realistically, what I'm asking for is for y'all to reconsider the original contract, switch it to pre-preservation, and I'm asking for the other 160.
It's almost 180,000, something like
Whatever it comes to bump that, and it would be $58,833 onto the existing $250,000 a year that we're paying now for the next 3 years. And that's what I'm asking for.
And I feel like after we talk about the rest of the budget, we might be able to just make that decision, but I just can't make it today.
It's $174,000. We got a little over 3 million requested in this upcoming budget. So, it's more for me a financial issue than it is I'd love to see it happen, but that's 174,000 that guys, we ain't got in our, and hasn't been in previous budgets, much less in the future one. I'm sorry, didn't mean to keep you all day, Jack. What do you want to do, Judge?
Do what?
I mean,
I am interested in getting started with what we already have paid.
he won't start
Right now.
until we give him a decision, Judge.
I understand
That's a
that.
plain.
I understand that.
So,
Just see how budget talks go this week and we'll make a decision.
yeah.
All right. And that's why I said 2 weeks. I think
It's back on court.
we'll be back on court in 2 weeks.
We're gonna stick with the original contract at $1.2 million. We're gonna get started imaging and indexing. We'll get as much done as we possibly can. In 2 weeks, you're gonna tell Marcy, who's gonna share with me, you know what, Jack? We're gonna get that extra done too. We're gonna stop there. But you're gonna tell me that.
When you start imaging and index is the next step though, into full though, isn't it?
Well, under the existing contract that they're working on would be full.
Well,
I think what I have said is what you just said, basically. Let's get started now. Let's go with what we already have and then make a decision on the rest of it.
I don't wanna do, I think that's a bad decision, Judge. I think they can just sit idle for 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks isn't gonna make a big difference to me.
Okay,
My
Because
concern
we're
is,
gonna waste
then-
money going to pre,
then
or
take
going to
what I
full.
said and delay it 2 weeks
Yeah.
in. Okay.
I mean, that's your opinion, but 2 weeks can just wait.
how much of our 500,000 was consumed in going back and sorting and actually identifying
So we looked at the 2 existing UHF sites, looked at the coverage there, then we analyzed alternate UHF coverages, both in keeping it in a 2-site multicast setup, just trying to find a better alternate site to the east, or increase it to a 3-site simulcast. And then we also analyzed the existing VHF simulcast that you all just implemented within the last year or 2. And then we put together rough budgetary cost estimates for these 3 options. So as you currently have, you have a 2-site UHF multicast staging. Your west site's the Pentex Tower, your east site's an east water tank, replaced the voice prison tower that unfortunately was dismantled some time ago. Complaints we were given that the coverage is insufficient, particularly to the east. Operations are somewhat difficult for dispatch in that they have to decide whether to send pages to the east or to the west. Your tower radio equipment, it's about 10 years old, that's not terrible. And then the UHF pagers that you possess are single channel capable only, which.
Can I interrupt you there, Tom?
Yes, sir.
You understand that currently we run east and west off of 1 channel, but they use different
Yes.
PL codes. So is that, I mean,
It's not a
Or
true
it's single.
multicast, like you said, yeah. A true multicast, you would have 2 separate frequencies, one on, say, Pentex, one on the east tower. This operates like a multicast, it's just up to the dispatch to decide which tower to activate.
so where it suggests single channel, it's actually capable of doing multiple tones based on a variety of PL codes.
Yes, sir, right.
Thank you. Sorry, didn't need to get you off
No,
track.
I didn't realize I had it set up to do this every time I call them off for y'all. All right, so like I said, the improvement options we analyzed was we did a database search of the FCC's tower database to find alternate tower sites in the county, particularly to the east. We ran multiple coverage analysis of those with the idea of replacing the east water tank with the best available tower coverage-wise, and then also looking at replacing that east water tank with 2 sites and simulcasting them all together. I say simulcast because we cannot multicast 3 UHF sites again because the pagers are single frequency capable. If you did it with the PL tones, as Commissioner Howell just stated earlier, you actually increase the dispatch's operational challenges. They would now have to decide between 3 sites instead of 2. And then finally, we looked at the coverage from the VHF simulcast system in the case that fire paging were to transition to that system. And I'm going to show you several coverage slides. You have them in front of you. Obviously, we can email you this presentation so you can get bigger views on them. But the pros and cons of relocating the single east UHF site provide better coverage. Of course, you can reutilize all your existing base stations and pagers. No change to the dispatch operations. While not optimal, they can operate as they are now, and I'm familiar with. The negatives, of course, you have most of your existing deficiencies remain. The best alternate east site we found is either going to be a commercial tower, hence rent, or a greenfield site, which means build a new tower. Again, the dispatch ops still have to determine between east west, and then the age of the existing equipment, again, while it's not terribly old, it's older than some of the further options we're going to go over. So commercial tower rents, we received a rent proposal from American Tower. It's a pretty good example of commercial rents. We actually manage the tower ourselves in the Deepland area, and it kind of jives with what's going on out there. They propose $1,600 a month, 4% annual increase. Putting that in a spreadsheet, your cost of rents over 10, 15, 20 years would be $230K, $380K, and $570K. If you had to build your own tower, you're looking at costs in the range of $300,000 to $400,000 to do that. Here are some coverages. So this is what coverage looked like way back when the boys' prison tower was in existence. Obviously, this has since been dismantled, but this was kind of the goal. we put in the target volunteer fires that were being hit, provided to me by Mr. Fletcher, as well as obviously trying to do the best coverage throughout the county. In the lower right corner, I have the demographics of what these various site configurations provide coverage-wise in the county. Another thing about this map, just as far as the legend, yellow represents 95% reliable paging within an 8 dB loss structure, small residential, small commercial. Red and yellow would be paging operating outliers.
Closer is.
About 84%. And if we go with, what Commissioner Hollowell said, say we find, or he knows of a tower that can duplicate what the boys' prison did, that coverage is 79% outdoors and 62% indoors. That's just a comparison.
If we'd done a hybrid and ended up having to say we can use Triangle Road and put a,
Is that the name of the coverage?
yeah, well, it's on Triangle Road, but if we put a repeater there and then used a repeater off of Walnut Bend, that's a whole new scenario too as far as coverage should be.
Right, you're talking about the 3-site solution?
Well, does that become 4 when I do that? You can't do 4?
Well, you can do 4, but it'd have to be simulcast.
And we can't,
You can, it's just that there's higher costs, of course, you're throwing in about, once you start simulcasting and adding repeaters for additional sites, that was about $250K.
how do we,
You already have, just real quick, I'm sorry, you already have a 4-site system with your VHF.
I mean, that'd be the deal, Gary. We're going to be a lot money ahead. I mean, I know it's pagers, but it's still going to be money ahead if we change, because then everything's in place. If we buy new pagers, that's the cheapest alternative. The deal with the simulcast, say if Medic 3's in town, or say they, for some reason, had to go to Munster to pick a patient up, and that page goes off on the east tower, and they're on the west side, right now they don't get the page.
Yeah, that's part of the difficulties with what the dispatch operations is. You have an incident in the east, well, that seems no-brainer. The east tower is the one that sends out the page. But as Commissioner Aaron said, if people on that system are not within its coverage, they're not going to get that page.
so multicast,
Simulcast.
yeah, I get the simulcast, it's gonna hit all 4 towers in theory.
Yes, sir.
I don't, of course, we haven't tested it other than with handheld radios, I think, for hitting North Shore with digital radios.
Real quick, true multicast would be great. It acts like simulcast, where say you had 2 to 4 towers, doesn't matter, and you had repeater equipment at each, but they each had unique frequencies. Dispatch could send out a page to all 4 sites. They go off, pagers can hear, but unfortunately, the pagers that the county own are only capable of listening to one frequency. That's why we can't tackle it that way. That's why it had to be simulcast. We're just using existing pagers.
Okay. How about, what can you tell me about penetration of buildings with UHF versus VHF?
They operate similarly. UHF generally penetrates buildings a little better. But we threw in, like I said, this was throwing in an 8 dB attenuation factor to account for, so pager has the signal threshold for its operating. That's represented by the red and yellow. We then back off that threshold, make it stricter by 8 dB to represent penetration loss in the building with 8 dB. It's theoretical, of course, and that's what the yellow represents.
So it's may boil down to the price of radios versus equipment. If we could find a tower without a rent to it, then it's, and of course, our pager number seems to fluctuate, but at $600 a piece, anywhere from $170,000 to $200,000 or $250,000. If we could find a tower, we reduce that number and we get slightly less coverage, 3 or 4 percentile or something less coverage.
I mean, your best coverage is that P25. I mean, it's the closest one is 68%. And that's simulcast, that's gonna cost you. Just to do the simulcast part of it's gonna be, to buy all that equipment to do that is
Yeah,
about
but-
250,000.
But multicast doesn't do that. We don't have to buy equipment if we go to multicast. And keep our current pagers.
You're still gonna have an expense.
I'm
It's
sorry,
gonna be-
Bubba.
It's probably gonna be, it'll be more than new pagers.
No. How do you get there?
Do you crawl towers?
Do what?
Do you crawl towers? That expense is not cheap. We already got the towers here in the P25. We own all the equipment.
You're probably talking, if you do 2 pagers or 2 repeaters and antennas, you're probably looking at $50,000. And we already have one of those repeaters and antennas that came off of the tower at the state school. So. if
So
we
you
could-
did this recommendation for us. What would you, since we spent money with you, what would you recommend we did?
Well, I think, so what we can do real quick, not real quick here today, obviously, but what Commissioner Hall was saying is, I think a good thing to add on here is, if he has this other tower that I didn't look at, I'd like to look at it. And then I think to add to both those points, what we can do is, excuse me, we can contact some tower crews and get what the cost of decommissioning east and then reinstalling that antenna and repeater at a free site that did it, see what that cost is, because if that comes close to
Which is
the
gonna need
majors,
which is gonna need a generator.
that's up to the county.
Well, I mean, it's a cost that we already have generators at all these other sites that we own.
Do you have one at least more than that? Okay.
I don't doubt there's a generator sitting out there at Triangle Road.
Can you use it?
I suspect we can.
We haven't on other ones that we've done.
Yeah. It looks, and again, I don't know what it will cost in addition to what we spent to at least check that tower. I mean,
I don't disagree with you. I'm looking at them numbers right there though, that with our pre-existing system that we have,
Yeah, based on the data we have currently, the VHF simulcast solution seems to be the most, that gets you the best results at the cheapest price.
we don't have any rental on towers. I mean, it's just, we own it. Or the county owns it. We don't, I don't own nothing, but the county owns it. That would be, and going to the digital, I mean, everything now, I mean, how many cell phones you had in the last 10 years?
And another thing we did look at, you may have some costs you can recoup selling the existing church generators.
Or we might have somewhere else we could go with them that's not as urgent.
Yeah.
again, it's unbudgeted money,
Well,
170, 200,000. I mean, it's,
but when them guys aren't getting them pages and we have people out there that aren't getting services because the tones aren't going off.
you're gonna hear lots of presentation today, and every one of them's gonna have some justifiable cause, so we'll just have to see.
I'm with that.
It's gonna be a long week.
Yep.
But if we don't hash it,
Well,
you know,
yeah.
I
So
mean,
can you get Tom the tower site that you're talking about? Where you can do a image for us?
Yeah.
Jason, right off the top of your head, it's at the intersection of 922 and Triangle Road, owned by Nortex Communications.
Oh,
It's in between Triangle, it's in
What?
between Triangle and Richard Road on the,
I wonder if that's the site I did find, this North Texas Tower. It's 250-foot cell tower?
Probably.
Yeah, that's I think that's the North Texas Tower. I've known it.
Oh, and it's suitable.
Has the tank,
Yeah, I agree with you, it is.
has a tank by the tower, that one, off 92?
All honesty, ma'am, I got the information. I didn't physically go look at it.
It's
So,
just on the south side of the road, south side of 9.
so that is the tower
Yeah, so Saul.
that gives you that coverage off of
Yeah,
UHF.
the owner leases space, it's got cellular per Google Street View.
You know, it's a short tower. I
That's
knew
North
that.
Texas Tower.
That's the reason I was asking you about elevations.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
about
found
reach
it.
one.
We'll make sure I get it.
the big hill up on
I think they're not.
They check it, or?
He can.
No?
Guys, it's, this is not an agenda item, we need, oh, it is under
Oh, is
page.
it?
Do what, Gary?
Nothing. I was thinking, nothing. Nothing.
And there's another tower right there in the wastewater plant.
I just don't know if it's gonna get over the hill. He can check it.
Right on.
He did check it.
To make sure that we're talking about the same cameras.
Okay, now, I'm talking about two different towers. One of it's by the fire station in Valley View, in that vicinity.
Yeah, if you had a tower, without doing coverage, I could say, if you got a tower down in Valley View, and you're replacing each water tank, it's not gonna.
It's probably not gonna, yeah. That's- And then there's another one that's just on the south side of Valley View,
Yes.
south and east.
Yeah.
It's not gonna get over the bridge.
Yeah, you release a lot of coverage south in the county, so.
Yeah.
Humongous tower over there by Ralston.
You know,
I was gonna say, how far out
To
is
get
it?
on it though would cost us,
Would it?
you know which one?
That's nice.
Tower out
yeah.
I'm sorry.
south of Ralston. That's,
Oh,
what is it, 500 foot or something?
What,
Oh, that's
one-
probably- I bet it's 1,000-foot tower.
Yeah,
It's huge.
it's a big, tall butt. You said it costs for,
I bet it costs $1,500 a month.
yeah.
I mean, if you just look at the stuff that we have already, just doing a P25, it's way cheaper.
If we could, I suspect what it cost us, if that's a suitable tower, to get the antenna and repeater there will be minimal. Because the same person that put it up on the water tower can go over and put it up on that
This
tower.
is North Texas Tower, just two sites,
Right.
at Texas and North Texas Tower.
I wish we had what's the coverage on that one?
750, 7.7 indoor, and 75.8 outdoor. 75.
All right,
57 compared to 73.
This one is a commercial tower, it would be rent.
Huh?
There would be rent.
Yeah.
on this one.
And not as good as coverage as what we have on our existing towers.
I would be curious, we probably won't know, but how well Rice will hit North Shore.
I did look at Rice, and it was not as good as this one, because it's just in too close to Gainesville.
So,
Yes. Coming through the various configurations, as I mentioned earlier, you kind of need a site that's about as east as EMS Station 3 and preferably Smith South. And that hits Calsburg while still hitting Bellevue and North Shore with just one site.
But our digital radios, when we went from analog to digital, I couldn't talk to North Shore.
number 11 is no action. Bring it back in 2 weeks. Bring it back in 2 weeks. What more action are we getting? I mean, what more information are we gonna get?
We're gonna see if that tower is a tower he has.
Oh, you mean the North Texas Tower? Okay. All right, item number 12, deliberate and consider possible landfills in Cooke County. Commissioner Sickett.
As of now, no action.
All right, item number 12 is no action. You want to bring it back?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 13, deliberate and consider possible action regarding Main Street parking lot, Commissioner Sickett.
Well, as Friday, they was supposed to pour sidewalks this morning, which they hadn't done that yet, so they're moving along with it.
They're moving along, okay, but no action. Bring it back in 2 weeks. Item number 14, deliberate and consider possible action regarding real property on Highway 82, Commissioner Hollowell.
Okay, several courts back, we took an action to bid the sale of that property. Well, we kind of got our cart before a horse like anything else. We have to surplus something before we can put it up for sale. So first, I'd like to make a motion that we rescind that order to accept that bid for the Highway 82 property.
I thought, didn't the previous court already approved to sell it? I thought that's what you had said.
We didn't follow.
surplus it.
We didn't,
It was done improperly.
yeah.
Okay,
You gotta surplus it before you
Okay.
could sell it.
Okay.
But we made a motion to sell it. So now that I'm asking that we rescind that motion, then I'm gonna come back with another motion, in just a second to correct it.
Need a second on that?
Yes, please.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion to rescind the previous motion on the Highway 82 property, as it was premature. We do have, that's Commissioner Hollowell. We have a second, Commissioner Snubs. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Now
then, if we go to the trouble to take bids and do stuff of that nature, we're gonna have to go off and get it appraised, we're gonna get it surveyed. The suggestion now is to sell it at auction as is for you. So if those buildings are full of trash and junk, we don't have to deal with it. We don't have to worry about title work and stuff of that nature. So my motion now would be, I'm sorry, I need to make a motion that we surplus that property. Yeah, I was about to do it again.
okay.
Thank you, Shelley.
Second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Hollowell, to surplus the property on Highway 82 that was deeded to the county. We have a second, Commissioner Snubs. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And there are none. And you want to bring it back 2 weeks in?
No, not yet, Judge.
Not yet?
Hold that thought.
What do you want to, just wait until,
Okay. We made the motion to surplus it, so
Yes.
that's a done deal, okay?
Right.
Now then, we
Correct.
have to disposition it. So we've since received some guidance, legal advice that says, hey, to avoid the cost of appraisals and stuff of this nature, we need to go auction it, okay? So what I need now is if you guys will approve me to go off and get us, I'll have to coordinate the auctioning of that piece of property.
talk about like out here with
What do you think, Shelley? Renee Bates or out here off the courthouse steps? What do we think?
Could you not do it on Renee Bates? I mean, or
They do them all the time.
You say, can we, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we can, and I think that's the direction we probably are to go.
Does that need to go through
The attorney? No,
the attorney's office or anything?
no,
Just
no,
do it,
different
huh?
deal, yeah.
But in order to do that, statute requires that the court nominate a commissioner to sell it.
And if one of you guys want it, you're more than, more than welcome.
No, I think
But that would be,
you're doing a fine job with it. I think.
Yeah.
And then it requires a 20-day notice, so.
so, you know, Shelley's been behind the scenes, you know, obviously. So I'd get Chelsea to put in paper that it's gonna be auctioned. Debbie will do it, okay. And that will notify them that's gonna be on Renee Bates, I'm guessing, if that's who we choose to do it, okay? And it will be as-is Warriors, so we don't have to worry about if the title work's not clear or if it's full of trash or whatever.
Okay, and if the same time they do another auction, Shelley, or just anytime?
It's an online auction.
Online
Yeah,
auction, okay.
So
okay.
through a third party.
Okay.
The county's not even involved, other than to
Okay.
go select or get Renee Bates to do it. And
Okay,
then
so
she'll-
what is your motion?
I'm gonna let somebody else, I guess, make the motion, because I hate to make a motion to appoint myself.
I'll make a motion to let Commissioner Hollowell be in charge of setting up the auction.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Sicking to appoint Commissioner Hollowell to be the manager of the property on Highway 82. We have a second, Commissioner Snuggs. All in favor? Aye.
I'll abstain there, Judge, I guess, what I'm supposed to do.
Okay,
I don't-
we do have, that motion passes 4-1 extension, or in one extension. Abstention, excuse me. Trouble today. All right,
Thanks, Shelley.
anything else?
It looks like 14A is, unless I took something out of order, 14A probably the same. Anybody see anything different? Do y'all have a 14A?
No.
I'm not dreaming.
You do?
I have a
Oh,
14A.
I don't
Y'all
have
just
it
stick-
printed. I just
She's
got
just
on
doing that number. Are you talking about the number on that she wrote on top of that agenda item? Is that what
No,
it
am
we
I
got
over
14.
where my thumbnails are?
tabs.
Or tabs? I have a 14A. Not a big deal, life's good.
was? Because she just made another sheet. that
Well, I
had
hear
that.
you, but I have a 14A.
Okay.
Okay.
She just called it A for all them numbers.
Well, no, no, it's all good. I don't, trust me, you've done a fine job.
Thanks, guys. About the help.
Pam, again, thanks for the help this week. We appreciate it.
Well, all right then. Item number 15 then is to deliberate and consider possible approval of repairing monopole tower lighting issues.
That's been done, can't that item come off?
No, it
Did
went
we
back
ever
and
get
forth.
the agreement signed from the
We never
city?
got the agreement signed,
I
as far as
got
I
it.
know.
I got
But
an
that-
update from Ed, he hadn't heard back from him.
That's right.
That's not
But wouldn't
fair.
that be considering possibly approve agreement with the city of Gainesville instead of repairing the monopole?
Well, I guess it would be under the same heading here, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but the next, because it's been repaired, right?
Because it originally went in as the possible approval of repairing the monopole, didn't it? It became a
Contract issue.
contract
We can change
issue.
it for the next court.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's no
so we'll
action
just
there.
bring it back in 2 weeks.
No, you want to
No
change it,
action.
Judge. No, you want to change it, considering possible approved contract with Gainesville on the monopole.
Okay, but then, well,
Yeah, instead of repair, because the repair's been done.
I agree. This needs to come off and then we'll just add.
All right.
when it comes,
All right. then I'll make a motion that we change item number 15.
You can't, I mean,
You
you
don't
gotta
need
do
that,
that.
John.
All right,
There's no action. We're removing.
Yeah, no action.
no action on item number 15. It's my motion. Do I hear a second?
There's no action.
No. Just doing no action.
All right. Do I hear a motion that we bring it back as a contract issue?
We'll just take care of that on the next agenda. Don't need a motion.
Don't need a motion?
You don't need that either, John.
Okay then. Item number 16, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the Crest Building. We do have some information, however, I don't choose to bring that up at this time. So I want to go no action on 16 for now. Item number 17, deliberate and consider possible action on the library facilities project.
Well, the project is coming along very nicely. The contractor has everything done except for he needs to put a door in the meeting room. And then the door to Jennifer's office had been installed. Everything else that he's supposed to do has been done.
There's just a few little punch list things.
Right,
too,
right.
But Ricky and I both know what they are.
But he's got to put the cameras back up on the front of the building. He's supposed to come today. I don't know if you knew that. He's supposed to come today. Replace the light on the front and then the two cameras. And then the carpet is in the process. They've got the meeting room finished. They've done the children's section and started down that back wall. And then he's on vacation this week. So he'll be back next week.
Somebody keeping a number on what we've got, what cost, what we're incurring?
Which budget?
I know. But
Based on.
I'd like to know what the number is when we get done. Did it hit right at budget? Is it $5,000 or $15,000? Because we made changes.
There's an invoice that y'all paid today from Justin Walterscheid for $22,000, which is a part of his quote. And everything is exactly what he quoted.
Just like a draw.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually billed us for what he has done. And there's a couple items he hadn't done, he had to bill us for.
The budget was done off the books.
Couldn't have been any changes.
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that either one of us are aware of.
The only additional cost will be that the painter gave us a quote to paint the walls. And I told him to do it, had him to paint the cabinets. He had not given us a quote on that. And so that's going to be an additional cost above what the quotes were. And then everything else is according to what the quotes were.
What do we find on leaks again? You know, I thought we had all our leaks solved, now we got leaks.
That's the window seal around the big windows on the end that Matt brought up a month or so ago. When that rain comes through, the seal needs to be replaced on those. And Ricky has contacted me, so
They're coming.
to do that, so, but that's it. I mean, let me tell you, as much as it's rained in the last couple of weeks and with that new carpet going in the meeting room and everything, we have been looking everywhere. That's why I also said, please don't start here. Please start here and go this way and then work.
So y'all coordinate it, do they do that after we get the seal, I'm guessing?
What'd you
They'll do
say?
carpet work after we get the seal in place?
Yes, that's my goal. I mean, that seems pretty ridiculous to have the carpet put down and there be a water issue.
You know, I've been here a long time. We've
Yeah,
seen leaks many times out there. It's been fixed, and all of a sudden, oh, it's not fixed.
I agree.
I think when we put a new roof on it, it stopped the leak in the meeting room. I think that was the issue all along. And I think we need to note that there is going to be probably 2 days or so when they're putting carpet up around the counter area and the office area. There's just no way the public can have access to the building. The employees still can, and there'll be plenty to do, and I don't know if Jennifer may work out a way to deal with the public at the door or something, but there's going to be a period of time there that when they're removing and replacing carpet in the work area and around the counter, the public cannot be there.
I mean, we're really working to try and keep everything open. That's the whole point. Even if we have classes that day for kids, there's no reason now with the meeting room done, we can't do them in there like we're planning to do. So that can be taken care of. And there'll still be access to the bathroom, you know, for the kids or the families. So that's not a problem. But we cannot, there's no way we can check things in and out from that counter or around. So we're going to try and work like we did during COVID with curbside and actually have people reserve stuff and then come up. to
Do
the
that on
door.
laptop?
Excuse me?
Like, I'll do some stuff on the laptop curbside?
That's what I'm talking about, so we can do it. The hardest thing will be giving them a receipt that has the due dates, but we can write it on a Post-it and put it on there and do that. So that's what the plan is. And there's plenty for us to do, you know, straightening the shelves and doing all that kind of stuff. So just like during an inventory week, this is a chance to give us a couple days to do it then. So. And I keep trying to send you guys pictures and Ricky too, so you know, because we're there every day. So this way you can see what's happening. That's the best way to keep you.
So I handed you this paper, when they removed the granite tile off the front of the building. They replaced that with, they replaced it with an EFS product. Well, of course, they had to remove the letters, the signage and everything off of the building. Those old letters that were there, we still have them. They're old and they look bad. They're not going to show up well on the front of the building. So I got, from Cooper's Copies, I got them to give me a quote. And this is just a rough quote, just to give us an idea of what the dollar amount would be. If we get serious about it, we get more details on it. But to purchase new lettering for the front of the building, the price there is from 6 to 8 inch letters would be the same price. These are aluminum letters. The color is chocolate brown is what I told them, but any color won't affect the price of it. And that's the Cooke County Library. And then in smaller letters for established in 1962 on the front of the building. And those are the prices there that he gave us. To purchase the letters is $24.25, and then for them to install them is $695. That's to me, if you're going to upgrade the building, that's going to make the building look nice. Try to put those old letters on there. First of all, it'll be hard to get back on there. And second, they're not going to show up early. I'm not going to.
Any questions? I mean, you know where we're at. You're welcome to come anytime.
We're gonna get more than one bid on that one.
I mean, I just got, that's going to be an idea about how much it's going to cost.
Or at least get one more bid somewhere.
Okay. I can do that.
They do a good job, it doesn't hurt to get one more bid.
Right.
How thick is that EFS on there?
I'm sorry.
The EFS, how thick did they put that on?
2 inches.
2 inches.
They actually replaced the tile and the mastic behind it was about 2 inches. So they just tried to replace that profile. Came in under the trim properly and they did a good job on it. It looks nice.
When they put the sign up, they got to go back through that EFS to the,
Yeah. You have to go through the EFS and penetrate the tile to put it on. That's why I prefer we get it professionally put up there. Because if you don't put them up there right, they're not going to stay.
Go through the top, create a leak. They're not gonna do it, you've assured us.
You're just asking for trouble now.
Oh, it's gonna be a long week, gotta have a little levity.
Very little.
You see?
And like Ricky said, I don't know what those days will be. I don't know. You guys just have to trust me that I'm not gonna pick days. Yeah, I know. This many years, I think. But,
Well, and we don't know when. These guys, they don't move very fast. But
I didn't know he was going on vacation this week. I thought that whole section would be done this week, and he told us Friday, and I was like, oh, no, I didn't know that. So we're behind more than, you can't tell somebody, no, you can't go on vacation, unfortunately. So, but we'll do the least amount of days that we have to close, and we'll be there, staff will be there, it just won't mean the public can't be there.
really, closed is probably not a good word because staff will be there. you know, still be dealing with them.
They just, people won't be allowed inside. And I guess I can't say that either. We have a class, the class will continue. They just can't be where the work area will be, so.
That's the issue, you can't have little kids running across the blue.
Or an adult, we learned that on Friday,
Yeah,
that adults aren't necessarily any better.
People don't read signs.
You can put barricades there and they still will move the barricade and go right through, as you guys know, so.
Oh, well, we had a
West
fence
for
around the
knowledge.
courthouse.
I know.
You know, we had a
That's
fence
right.
around the courthouse and
I
people
know.
walk around it.
That's right.
Just a quest for knowledge is what it is.
Thank you.
All right, you have heard from Jennifer Johnson Spence and Rick Kerr. I assume there's no action on this one that needs to be, I can't think of anything that needs to be done. We'll bring that back in 2 weeks. All right, item number 18, deliberate and consider possible action regarding the annex. Would that be you?
I think y'all have in your
Okay.
quotes that I got. I solicited quotes from 3 different people and only got one. And that's from Judge Jones. You have that in your packet. I think. Yes or no? Do you have, okay. And it's to do the work that Pam wants done to set her voting area up like she needs it to be. They're waiting on us to tell them yes or no what they want to do before they order. We're going to order the doors.
It's been a long-term goal all along, guys, to get voting over there. I mean, it's, unless we're gonna spend money, we're gonna get something in our hand. You know, something we can see. I'd make the motion. We approve that.
I'll
The
second.
one quote.
Yeah, we didn't get any others and.
Okay, I mean, you don't want to go back out and try again or anything like that, just go with that one.
Yeah, I mean, $7,900, but that gets you complete doors,
Yeah.
everything. That's the footprint you want.
Kind of in a crunch before the.
You know, I mean, it's gonna be.
It's gonna take a while just to get the doors in the way everything's been running.
Did you ask Justin Walker done?
He came and looked at it, measured it 3 times, but he never would.
Yeah. I'd leave that motion out there. Somebody wants to second it.
So you're gonna put 2 single doors and 1 twin door, is that it?
Yeah,
So
the doors will be to get all the equipment out to
Yeah.
the mover.
Okay. I didn't know if it was one or the other.
No, it's both.
Do you have something, Shelley?
Where's it being paid from?
Gonna have to come
Well,
out
the
of,
auditor's office is paying for it.
Then I say no.
capital improvement, is it there?
Probably not budgeted.
Oh, I get it, I mean, but that's where I would, is that where you would suggest it come from? Or would you suggest contingency
We
or,
haven't, there is no money.
if we've shot that, huh? Yeah. Again, those is one of those things, I don't know that we got a whole lot of options.
I may have some money in my 350 line item that's for
So-
building repairs.
Well, you want to sign up for it and come back and hit us later if we need to.
I may have enough in my election budget left now.
That's not an election, this isn't,
Can't do election.
this isn't election related. Facility related.
Right.
It's not, we're building a room for it.
Well, give us some guidance.
Well, there's no action to take for a budget amendment, so I can go look, y'all can approve it, but if he doesn't have the money in his budget, then he'll wait for a budget amendment next quarter.
So we can
There's
come
enough
back
money
to court
in
next week
350.
with the.
There's enough money
on
in 350.
Okay,
Put it
so,
on Thursday.
We do that.
Pick
Put it on Thursday.
well, but it sounds like we can spend it and take an action, let him pay for it now and adjust his later if need be. And then we're done.
Okay, well, I'll second your motion now.
I still like,
Okay, The motion is from Mr. Hollowell that the action regarding the annex and the voting election room be completed and and paid for out of what line item is that?
Well, I can check also to see if there's money left over from annex renovation.
Oh, okay.
Maybe nearly enough, be close for it.
One.
Right now, we
I
take it,
wouldn't say where to be paid from. I just.
Okay,
Just approve it.
make a motion, we approve the quote.
just approve it, okay.
I second that.
Second by Commissioner Snubs. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? There are none.
Matt had already seconded. Sorry.
Take it out.
Matt had already seconded.
I can't hear Matt.
I'm
Matt's
sorry.
way too quiet down there.
Oh, yeah, or you
That was too long ago, we forgot.
It happened.
Okay, it's seconded by Commissioners Sigley. Item number 19, deliberate and consider possible action regarding proposed way stations, no action. Item number 20, deliberate and consider possible action regarding various grant funds.
Precinct 4 received $15,656.19 last week for PW 800 County Road 414, which was, that project had already received one payment, and this was like the final payment, close out of the PW 800. That's all the money that will be paid on that one. I did send an email asking where the funds were for 3 roads, PW 405, and I can't remember the other one, but all of that work was submitted in 2021. We haven't got any money for it yet. And I believe you are finished. Drum roll, please.
We are finished.
Yay! I don't have it to review yet, or maybe it's been brought this morning, I don't know. But, and then on the CTIF roads, I have reviewed all but precinct 2, and I sent you an email.
Yes.
Okay.
You did mine, right?
Yeah, I've got yours.
Okay.
A couple of those roads were only like $8,000 and $4,000, so you have more money. Your percentage, you have more money
Okay.
left.
Earlier, I understood that I had till 25 to get this done. Is that not right? I mean,
I'm sorry, what?
what's the deadline on that?
2025.
20, okay. Not planning on waiting that long. I just want to make sure I don't have to.
No, you don't have to get them done this week,
Right. Okay. Thank you.
till 2025. So then, once I finish reviewing precinct 2s, then we'll be ready to start hitting them hard on.
We looking good on my stuff?
I haven't.
Yeah, look good.
Yeah.
Okay, item number 20 is no action. Item number 21.
Motion.
Motion, Commissioner Snubs. Second
We want to recess?
by me. Okay, there's either the way we used to do this or the way we do it now. What we're going to do is adjourn and reconvene for budget hearing, okay?
Every day you'll do that.
Yes. So we're going to adjourn at 11:57, and we shall reconvene at 1:30 for budget hearings this afternoon.
Want to second it?
Judge
I did.
No, we didn't vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Motion passes 5-0.
I brought street corn and